Good morning, televiewers of My Media Prime Television. Happy week start from us at this platform where we always get to dig several layers beneath the major headlines as presented to us by newspapers in Cameroon. On today's edition of the program, we are focusing on three very important headlines carried this morning by newspapers in Cameroon. We'll be talking about 18 CPDM members of parliament who have written to the Speaker of the lower house of Assembly talking about marginalization and how they are being treated at the level of the National Assembly. We shall talk about that. And the defeat of PWD of Bamenda yesterday by Fufu of Baham during the Cameroon Cup final. PWD of Bamenda, the team was defeated by 2-0 by Fufu Club of Baham as the team went looking for the second trophy. We shall also talk about the situation of the two English-speaking regions of the country. Another military raid has yielded fruit in Boyo division of the Northwest region, where General R.K. has been neutralized alongside his close aides. The elite unit of the Army B carried out that operation on Saturday, leading to the killing of General R.K. We shall dwell on those three very important headlines carried for us this morning by newspaper. Etape Quentin has been reading through some French language newspaper. Let's have what he gathered for us this morning. Bonjour Etape et bienvenue fois de plus.
Bonjour Lasha Kinchili, lundi 25 septembre 2023. Mesdames et messieurs, bon début de semaine à tous et à toutes. Bonjour à tous et à toutes et bienvenue dans votre programme habituel débrief. Eh bien, l'actualité est largement dominée par l'eau et l'électricité dans le septentrion. Démarrons ce devoir quotidien avec le journal Le Messager. Le Messager, arrivé à notre rédaction ce matin, nous annonce une mauvaise nouvelle. En grande une, Alain Ndjimpou Pisakou, le repos du guerrier. Point de suspension, chef de service culture, puis tour à tour, coordonnateur de la rédaction centrale, rédacteur en chef, grand reporter et conseiller du directeur de publication jusqu'à son décès. Il a rangé sa plume samedi dernier, c'était à l'hôpital général de Douala et il souffrait d'insuffisance rénale de ce côté-là. En tout cas, vous aurez les détails dans les lignes et colonnes de ce journal présent en kiosque ce matin. Poursuivons notre exercice avec le journal Le journal Témoin qui s'intéresse à la magistrature et propose un grand titre. 4 promotions formées et au quartier depuis 4 ans. D'ailleurs, si l'on s'en tient aux explications proposées par nos confrères dans les pages de ce journal, l'on peut comprendre que le Cameroun est donc définitivement en panne. En tout cas, tout est bloqué. Pas de conseil de ministre, pas de conseil supérieur de la magistrature. Plusieurs postes ministériels sont vacants. Le pays au point mort. Eh bien, comment comprendre cet état de choses? En tout cas, le décryptage de cette actualité est à retrouver dans cette parution, la même parution qui présente en sa petite une financement de l'économie. Le Cameroun explore les formes gracieuses de la finance islamique. En tout cas, vous aurez les détails si vous vous procurez ce journal. Continuons avec le journal La Voix du Centre. La Voix du Centre qui parle de l'électrification du septentrion. 40% de la demande en énergie désormais couverte. Eh bien, dans la page 2, l'on peut lire les toutes nouvelles centrales solaires photovoltaïques inaugurées à Guidère dans la région du Nord et à Marois dans la région de l'extrême Nord vendredi dernier par le ministre de l'Eau et de l'Énergie Gaston Elundu Essomba qui bloquait ainsi une tournée de travail bien remplie dans le Grand Nord. vont largement contribuer à résorber le déficit énergétique de cette partie du pays. Cette mise en service marque ainsi la concrétisation des promesses de Paul Biya de réduire considérablement les pénuries en eau et en énergie de cette partie du triangle national au grand bonheur des populations de ces régions. Et puis finissons avec le journal La Météo qui s'inscrit dans le même tempo et propose en grande une: eau et électricité, Paul Biya abreuve et éclaire le septentrion. Eh bien, à travers le ministre de l'eau et de l'énergie, le président de la République tient ses promesses. Gaston Ilundu et Somba, au cours de sa mission à Maroua du 19 au 23 septembre 2023, accompagné du directeur général de la Kamwata, Blaise Moussa, a lancé les travaux de la phase 2 du projet d'alimentation en eau potable de 9 villes, instruit par le chef de l'État. Il permettra à terme à la première cité du renouveau de doubler sa capacité de production actuelle avec un total de 25 000 mètres cubes par jour. Le ci-devant DG de la CSCDP a également procédé à la mise en service des centrales solaires photovoltaïques de Maroua et Guidé qui fournissent 30 MW. Dans les pages 2 et 3, vous aurez ample explication concernant cette actualité. Voilà, c'est tout ce qui est à retenir des journaux en langue française. Parlons à présent des autres tabloïds en anglais avec toi, Lasha. Juste après, ce sera le décryptage. Good morning once more again.
Thank you, Etape Quentin. Let's kickstart this morning with the media newspaper. The media is focusing on the plights of 18 Northwest CPDM MPs who have besieged Kavayege Jibril, writes the media newspaper. The paper tells us that the 18 MPs have said they constitute 10% of the National Assembly and they cannot continue to suffer such evidence of or disregard and utterly disdainful treatment being given to them at the level of the National Assembly. Still in this edition of the media newspaper, let's take you to Kumba to talk about what is happening at the level of the City Council. Greg Mewanu claims irate workers with 4 months pay. The paper tells us further that he has reminded striking workers of efforts of the new council executive is making to clear salary arrears inherited from the former executive of the municipality. The details are found on page 2 of this edition of the media newspaper. We talk about elections Cameroon as electoral cycle nears. Elecam board charges field workers to redouble efforts. We take you now to the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post is focusing also on the plights of the Northwest CPDM MPs. Northwest CPDM MPs decry gross marginalization at National Assembly. They more in the absence from strategic committees, international parliamentary bodies. Also want Kavaye's director of cabinet sanctioned for publicly boasting of a snatching juicy position from Anglophone, handing to his Tokombere brother. The details are found on page 3 of this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. See, in this edition of the newspaper, let's talk about elective convention of the frontline opposition political party. The SDF chairmanship aspirant Gordon Zama gets blessings from traditional rulers. One of the aspirants of the coveted position of national chairman of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, Ndange Gordon Zama, has received royal blessings from frontline traditional rulers of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. His meetings with the royal fathers over the weekend came weeks ahead of the October National Elective Convention of the party. Gordon Zama, who is currently serving as Limbe 1 Electoral District Chair of the SDF, was received by the traditional rulers of Bafut, Bantu and Songwa in the northwest region, and Viepie of Wabane in Libialem division of the southwest region of Cameroon. See, in this edition of the newspaper, we are in Boyo division to talk about this military raid. Military kills dreaded Amber General RK, 6 other fighters. Dreaded Ambazonia fighter Rafael Kuma, popularly known by the name General RK, has been killed by soldiers of the Rapid Intervention Battalion B. He was killed alongside his younger brother Njimbe Jackson, who was known as Colonel Jackson, as well as some 4 other fighters who were killed during that military raid. Let's now talk about Cameroon Cup finals, where Fufu of Baham has ruined PWD's champagne party. The paper tells us that PWD of Bamenda's quest of lifting their second Cup of Cameroon title ended yesterday in agonizing fashion after they suffered a shock 0-2 defeat to Fufu Club of Baham in the west region of Cameroon, the final of the annual knockout competition, which also marked the end of 2022-2023 sports season in Cameroon, took place yesterday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé. PWD headed for the encounter with some heap of confidence despite losing some key players to the transfer market. Let's now talk this issue that has to do with development. Matching words with action, writes the Guardian Post newspaper. President Paul Biya sets northern regions on new development path with solar power plants. Now we take you to the Herald Tribune newspaper. The Herald Tribune is also focusing on the military raid in Boyo division of the northwest region. Military clips separatist fighters' wings in Boyo. We are told by the paper that reports from Boyo division of the northwest region of Cameroon saying one of the most dreaded Ambazonia Sodio General RK has been neutralized alongside Colonel Jackson, his assistant, and 5 other separatist fighters. So-called General RK and his group were killed by the Defense and Security Forces in an operation on Saturday, September 23, 2023. RK was known to be the most dreaded of all Ambazonia generals since they took up arms against the Republic of Cameroon. And still talking about the action of General RK, should be recalled that he masterminded the killing or brutal killing of gendarmes at a checkpoint in Baingo alongside a pregnant woman. See, an officer, we told he was the one that masterminded that killing that led to the death of several gendarmerie officers, including a pregnant officer. This edition of the newspaper focus on that. We end with the Horizon. The Horizon newspaper is focusing on the victory of Fufu Baham yesterday against the PWD of Bamenda Cameroon Football Cup. PWD of Bamenda fails to lift a second trophy, writes the Horizon newspaper. In this edition of the newspaper, you also get the reports or the latest report of the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, led by Abo Bala. The report which spotlights alarming upsurge in humanitarian crisis in the 2 English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Thank you so much, televiewers of My Media Prime, for watching or listening to the major headlines being read to you. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. We're joined by Mbane Evis, who is the Communications Secretary to the Popular Action Party of Njang Dennis. We equally have with us in the studio Amadou Tante, who is the Executive Director of Conscience Africaine, an NGO operating in the littoral and the northwest regions of Cameroon. Good morning and welcome, Amadou Tante.
Good morning once more, Mr. Lasha, and good morning to Etape, as well to the telespectators of My Media Prime Television. At least I'm delighted to be here once more this morning.
Thank you for joining. We also have with us Mbane Evis. Evis, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning to all those with you back there in the studio, and of course, a special good morning to all viewers of My Media Prime.
Good to have you again. It's been long.
It's been a very long time, and must I say, I'm pleased to be back.
Okay.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right, let's kickstart with the plights of these 18 CPDM MPs who are decrying marginalization They say they have been sidelined at the level of the National Assembly, and they also won they also want a close aid to Kavayege Jibri to be punished for openly or coming out in public to say he has snatched a juicy position that was supposed to be given to an Anglophone and handed to his Tokombere brother.
Well, I think it is nothing strange about politics in Cameroon to hear Southern Cameroonians or West Cameroonians complain about marginalization. It is nothing strange in Cameroonian politics to hear that offices that could or were supposed to be for Anglophones are taken and given to Francophones. And it's nothing strange, it's not new to anyone to know that those who are there clamoring for complain about marginalization to an extent are crying for their stomachs and not actually representation, because they do not actually represent the people that they actually are there at the assembly and are supposed to represent. So to me, a fight within the CPDM MPs and a fight within the CPDM to me, permit me say, is a non-event to me. Whatever thing they are doing, I believe they are fighting for their stomachs. But it only goes a long way to expose the fact that in Cameroon, Anglophone Cameroonians have often complained of this same marginalization, which since 1961 till today has not changed. And when we are talking about the Anglophone crisis that we have in the country today, we should not forget that that is one of the key reasons why we have what is happening in the country today. The fact that Anglophone Cameroonians have often been treated as second-hand citizens of the country, until today the regime in place has not been willing to do anything to give them that, should I say, their right of place within this union, where we both accepted to get into it as equal partners in 1961.
Yeah, Evis, when this is strange seeing CPDM MPs talking about marginalization. It is also strange to hear you say they are fighting for their stomach, because we know the ruling CPDM political party, there's a lot of party discipline that when they have issues, they go back and settle at the level of central committee, not at the level, not coming out in public to decry what they just did. They say they are for Anglophones. So when you say what you say, is it not also strange to hear you say that?
No, I don't know from what angle you listen to what I say to think that is strange. What they are saying there is not strange to anybody. It is not new to anyone. And maybe they are coming out a little too late to decry what Anglophone Cameroonians have been complaining of publicly, which they of the CPD have denied for years not to also come out and decry. And that's why I say if they are coming out now, maybe it's because they can no longer bear it within. Let me assure you, Mr. Lasha, being within the CPD, being an MP, for the fact that they have been silent all this while, is not necessarily because they are comfortable and quite accepted within the same ranks of the CPDM when you claim there is a lot of party discipline. The truth is, our brothers who are in government and in the regime itself, they complain at the background. They lack the balls to come out in public and publicly declare what is happening. So if they are coming out now, it's a good thing, all the same, but I think they are coming out a little too late to declare what our own people have been killed, because of which they have been strong to declare for many years. But they of the CPDM never accepted that there was any problem.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Evis. We joined by Amadou Tante. Amadou Tante, good morning and welcome once again.
Yo, thank you once again, Mr. Lasha.
Yes, we are talking about the CPDM MPs, 18 of them from the Northwest region. They say they have been sidelined.
I think this one is a good news, at least since they said it's one first of its kind. Though Mr. Evis was saying it's coming late. For me, I don't think it's late. It's better, as we often say, that it's better late than never.
If this coming from the CPDM, is it not strange? Very strange.
Well, at always time, the issue is that when something starts, some people, especially as you were saying, that some people who are normally this MP are supposed to protect the general interest of the population, but we realize that it seems as if most of them are protecting their personal interests. So when they have been trying to protect their personal interest, I went to an extent where the discussion has become very open, where another MP will go and stand in public, or not somebody who is working at the assembly and is in charge of some of maybe distribution of this post, will go and stand in public with his own people, telling them how he has decided to seize some position, some juicy position from other people and give to the other ones. Since they are left now with no choices, their interest, the interest that they are protecting is no longer guaranteed. They are forced now to use the normal marginalization that we have been singing since 2016 that the conflict started, to use it now as a strategy for them to call the attention of their hierarchy or with regard to what they are going through. It is true that they are fighting for their own personal interest, but it's good for them to come out they are using the crisis, that it's good for them to use the situation of Anglophones have been going through, and they keep going through in Cameroon up to date to denounce it, because this attention they are calling now, it will make some other people who are believing on these people liars, because I say liars because normally politicians are liars. That's what I know. So other people were believing on their usual lies that they have been saying to protect their interests. They will know now that if these people are coming out to cry now, it means that the situation is really out of hand. Because initially they were not complaining, but they have been trying to see what they can do. Even though, as Mr. Evans was saying, they keep crying on the background, but they are unable to come out publicly and say, because they know the devastating effect of such thing, doing such thing in a regime as such. So because they keep telling them that you can never buy the finger that fits you, but they don't know that they are not working for personal individual, or those are the high-ranking position in Cameroon. They are working for Cameroonians, and all of us, all Cameroonians, whether you are the president or you are the prime minister or whoever, you will go one day and leave Cameroon. That's why we keep saying that this Cameroon belongs to all of us, don't belong to particular individuals. We are talking about at a time where the rate of hate speech in Cameroon is too much. At least the government says they are trying to fight hate speech. At the same time, people go on top position goes and stand on public places and make some utterances which are really unacceptable. At least the government is not doing anything. That's why we keep saying
why only
there is
MPs,
impunity.
why only MPs from the northwest? Is it not still another problem that they are trying to? They say they represent 10%.
Yeah.
It would have been MPs from the Anglophone regions of Cameroon.
No, remember
those from the southwest. Why MPs from the northwest?
Remember what I say here that those MPs,
they say they constitute 10% of the National Assembly. That they are.
Remember what I say here that those MPs are elected representatives. Normally they are supposed to.
So it means that those in the southwest region, they are comfortable, they are fine, right?
No, I'm saying that normally they are supposed to. They are representative of the people. They are generally representing Cameroon in general, but particularly those that elected them in their own regions of origin. So as I was saying here, I said here that these people are protecting their interests more than any other thing, even though they were supposed to protect the interest of the population, but it seems as if they care less about the interest of the population. They are protecting their personal interests first. But now these people have been trying, and they see that things are not going well on their own side. These other groups have decided to come out and denounce. But regarding to the situation of the Sahara, it's not that what is clear is that the government of Cameroon have been using divide and rule system. They want to do everything possible to divide the people so that they will not be strong. So that's why they have been, even at the level of national dialogue, we heard what His Lordship Andrew Nkea came out last time. Bishop Andrew Nkea came out last time and told us about what happened at the major national dialogue. Why some other people from the southwest and the other from the northwest are claiming that no, they don't have anything to do with those hate speech or way of this divide and rule system, so that they can really make things in such a way that these people cannot even unite and come to and speak in one voice. So at least we keep saying that at least as long as the conflict is still going, these people they are highly welcome. At least they should use their position. We are saying that they should use their position at the National Assembly to make sure that they decry the situation in northwest and southwest, because there are some people who keep on saying, some of the leaders of Cameroon or the top ranking ministers who go about saying that everything has come to normal, situation has come to normalcy has returned to this one, which is not true. That's why I am here today, and that's why we have to continue singing this song on their head, even thousand and million times, and one day they must listen to us. But if we stay quiet or stay silent, the people will assume that the situation is under control, which is not true. At least we continue to tell the government of Cameroon, all international partners, as well as the secretaries, to do everything possible for us to seek a lasting solution to this problem. At least let's stop this issue of blame game and all the like. Sometimes we say these separatists have killed. Tomorrow they say that the defense forces have killed. And we keep saying all those things. I keep saying here that it is Cameroonian that their lives are being lost on daily basis. Whether they are separatists, they are men of defense security force, or their population, their lives are being wasted over nothing, over an issue that can be addressed properly. These are all Cameroonians that have problem. And let's look for proper way to sit down on the table and talk for each other and talk with each other, because we are talking about the interest of Cameroon. It's true that the government of Cameroon, or President Pobia, whosoever, when it took an oath to protect the national sovereignty and protect the citizens of the country as well. But today we have differences because of our opinions, which is a normal thing, because God created us differently. Everybody was created and given a different way of reasoning. That's why we have democracy, and we are trying to say that everybody should be free to have the right to express his own opinion normally, and nobody should be discriminated upon because of his own opinion. We use our opinions to build the nation. We should not use it to destroy the nation. At least some of these things are really unacceptable. Let us come together and look for possible ways of resolving this problem, so as to protect the interest of Cameroon, not the interest of individual. Because what we have realized here today is that what I've realized in Cameroon is that our leaders are doing everything possible to protect their personal interest, their interest and that of their family, and not the interest of Cameroon that are normally supposed to protect. Because as a leader, you take an oath to protect the interest of the entire population. Those who voted you into this position, even those that never voted for you. Because while you are voted into this office, you become for example, the president. You become the president of the entire Cameroonian. Even those that never voted for you will be under you, and they will have no choice than to succumb to you, so that you are going to solve their problem without any discrimination in any form. At least we said we are the type of fighting hate speech. Let's use this opportunity now to stop the impunity and punish some of these leaders who are about making all sort of unacceptable utterances. Those who don't unacceptable what hate speech, but yet nothing is being done. As I'm saying, it's encouraging others to go ahead and begin to do the same thing because the other people are doing and nothing is being done to them.
Yeah, Mbane Evis, if this man did not say what he said, what would have happened with these MPs? They would have stayed quiet?
Can you come again, please?
Yes, I'm asking if this man from Tokumbere did not say what he said, these MPs would have stayed quiet, right?
Well, it's a possibility, Mr. Lasha. If they came out publicly, surely it's because someone made an open declaration to in the public space. That's why they came out. And that's why I started by saying that in reality, what they are telling out marginalization today in public is something that they themselves have been suffering for years, but decided to keep it to themselves and pretend in public space as though there was never anything. And when their own people of the Northwest and Southwest came out massively to publicly decry that they were being marginalized, they, the MPs, who are supposed to be representing these people and were supposed to have joined voices to let the state know that something is wrong, they kept quiet. They gave us the impression that we were fools. They gave our people the impression that they were liars. But today, like I said, they are coming out probably because someone made a direct open statement, which they took as a challenge. And of course, like I say, they now want to use a situation to call on public opinion to sympathize over their situations when they will be restored into what is rightfully theirs at the level of the assembly. Of course, it will be to their private gains, and they will keep quiet and continue feeding there without ever taking into consideration the fate of their own people. So like I said, to me, those cries from the MPs, the only good thing we can retain is that for once they are making it known that there is marginalization, but in reality it is a non-event to me because they are talking about marginalization here to their own private interest and not that of the people.
That's why I asked, because people have been making utterances from other regions of the country, but this one is so peculiar. We've even seen the signature of Member of Parliament, the Questo, Honorable Jingu Musa, is on the document. But the heading of that document, as per what I have here, memo addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker of the Cameroon National Assembly by CPDM members of Parliament of the National Assembly from the Northwest region of Cameroon concerning an utterance that was made by a member of Parliament from the far north region of the country. So you see, it has got nothing to even do with the marginalization per se you are talking about, but it has to do with a particular interest.
But that is just what we are saying, Mr. Lasha. That's why I say it's a non-event. Because they are talking, those who do not understand what is happening will want to think that MPs have at least finally declared Anglophones are marginalized, which is not the case. They are fighting for their own interests, and that's why I said that if at the end of the day they are restituted that which is rightfully theirs at the level of the National Assembly, but life goes back normally and they care less about the real marginalization that we are talking about from the Northwest and the Southwest. And that's why I say to me it's a non-event. They are fighting for themselves and nothing but themselves. And one thing I want to pinpoint here is that issue of MPs from the Northwest region, MPs from the Southwest region, because that is what the regime in place keeps using to continue to foster that divide between Anglophones per se, trying to give the impression that there is always some sort of a disparity between those who come from the Northwest and those who come from the Southwest. Unfortunately, we have our own people, some of them, however, who want to align by this rhetoric and continue to practice the type of politics for their stomachs that they do in Cameroon.
Okay, let's talk about development this time around. What President Paul Biya is doing in the northern part of the country, according to the Guardian Post newspaper this morning, matching words with action, writes the newspaper. President Paul Biya sets northern regions on new development path with solar power plants.
Well, Mr. Lasha, do not forget that at the corner. We know how the CPDM functions. That to me is a promise that will not yield fruits after 2025. They will start now, make a variety of promises, lay foundation stones, and they delay the projects until you wait for them in 2025 and then they go back to sleep. So to me, well, it is like I keep saying, it is nothing strange about the way the CPDM regime functions. unfortunately, like I said, the common man in Cameroon sometimes will always fall prey to this type of manipulations and go vote, or at least we know that sometimes even the votes, your votes don't even count. So I don't think there is anything to take home about that or such promises. When we talk about water, for how many decades today have our people from the northern parts of the country not had water? Do we need to wait till now before they start announcing something of solar energy, water, and all that? I really don't think so. So I don't think there is anything new that they can have to take home from that.
Ok, Amadou Tante, we are with Etape
Amadou Tante, 40% de la demande énergétique désormais couverte dans le septentrion. Alors, c'est une promesse tenue par le président de la République. Une bonne nouvelle qui arrive à point nommé.
Okay, thank you. Before I dive into your question, let me just make some little observation again with regards to the issue of MP we're discussing here later. Because what is clear is that many of these Anglophones at the high-ranking positions, they are dying what they will call Lashete on the back, so they are afraid to come on top. I can bear here with you that we have one of a very top-ranking official who had a problem, a sick health issue, and was abandoned by the same government. The top-ranking official abandoned by the same government and contacted us. And we started working with regard to the file of this man. We decided to contact, after writing our report and some of these things, we decided to contact one of the top-ranking officials, one of the governor in this country, and the governor told us that this thing if you are doing, it's an excellent thing. You can do these things, it will help a lot of people. Even though we have not made this thing published, we'll just pass on the background, meet the government official directly, tell them that this injustice that this man is suffering is unacceptable, and the most that the man is an Anglophone and suffering which is not acceptable. And when we went on back and told them, even though they took an immediate measure to make sure that the problem is resolved. Because even the governor told us that there are so many people who are suffering some things that are more than this one, but they are afraid to talk. That's one of the greatest problems that people are suffering this, because I made us understand that the people don't have freedom of speech, opinion. If once you are working with the government, you have to bear with whatsoever they are asking you to do, which is not acceptable. These people came to us and we worked on the file, and these things is going up, going positively. We have to write even at the level of presidency, right at the prime minister. And the prime minister called the attention of the concerned ministry, and immediate action was taken to make sure that the problem is resolved. So those are the kind of things people are dying on a daily basis, but they are afraid to talk. Which
so when you join CPD and when they say dance, go this way.
It just dance, which is not acceptable. You
cannot even utter one and say no.
You cannot utter one. They should first of all understand that once we are working with the government, you are working for the interests of Cameroon as a country, and not for individuals. Do the work as normal as we are supposed to do. So you are supposed to do it, because that's why when we end up, we are trying to satisfy these leaders, we end up having problems. That's why we have company like Kameko, that whenever a leader, a manager, a director is appointed at that office, he must do everything possible to satisfy his godfather, and at the end we end on the shambles, and we end on the way we are seeing. So it's these things these people need to come out and talk, which they don't need to die. There are some of them that are dying with words on their mouth, they are afraid to talk, and they are dying with all these things on a daily basis. Okay, concerning the question of Mr. Etape here on the issue of electricity.
Water. It was water.
Okay, on water.
That President Pobia has at least the northern region now will not have issue of water. There will be water now in the north. Production, it says how many cubic?
Voilà, 40% de la demande énergétique déjà couverte dans le septentrion. Eh bien, c'est une bonne nouvelle pour vous qui arrive à point nommé.
49%.
Okay. No, of course. These are the things that we are fighting for. Is it
supposed to be news? Is it supposed to be news that there's electricity, that we have electricity or water?
I think I once heard a senior journalist said on the media that anything that is coming, news is something that is new. Understand? Something that is new, but it's true that this one is something. It's normal thing that we're supposed to do.
No,
but since they are now, as I said, it's never late. If they are doing it today, at least I would say that's why I say an applause to the government of Cameroon for what they are doing. I said it's a good news. We don't need to criticize everything.
Is it supposed to be the rights of Cameroonians? It's supposed to be a privilege that we Cameroonians have to be thanking the government for providing electricity and water?
No, that's what I said here, that normally it's an obligation for the government to provide all these things. And it's something that the people need these things, and the government has that obligation to provide these basic necessities to the population. But if they in fact, for quite a long time, our people have been suffering. But if today they can do such a thing, I think that's a good way forward, at least a good news for us. At least we are praying that it should not only end there, it should continue to other regions. That's the thing that we are fighting here for. We are fighting for the suffering of the ordinary Cameroonians, because people go through what people go through because of water here. There are so many of our so many citizens who are dying on a daily basis because of lack of good drinking water. At least if the government can take these stringent measures to make sure that Cameroonians are provided good potable water in all the part of every part of the country. At least it's a good news. At least it's true that it's coming late, but it's better late than never. At least let the government continue in that way, because that is what we want. We want Cameroonians to enjoy the country. We stop pushing Cameroonians to go into extra miles to travel through the desert and dying on daily basis. At least I think this is a good news. We should say what is good and deny what is wrong.
Alors, récemment même, le ministre de l'eau et de l'énergie, Gaston Elundou, et Somba, a lancé le projet d'approvisionnement en eau potable dans le cadre du projet des 9 villes. Eh bien, 25 000 mètres cubes par jour sera désormais disponible dans la ville de Marois. Eh bien, Paul Biya, son excellence, le chef de l'État, eh bien, abreuve et éclaire cette partie du pays. C'est quand même à apprécier, non, Monsieur Amadou?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. It still goes to the same thing I was saying previously, that it's an upload to the government. It's a good news. It's true that they all lost that obligation to do these things, but that was they have not been giving us these things. But if it is coming now, it's late. But it's coming. I think it's not that late. It's true that so many people would have died because of the bad water condition there. But if it's this thing, the government can think of the population and start doing these things now. I think it's something we need to applaud, congratulate the government for this initiative.
Okay, Madu Tante, let's go back to the northwest region. We are in Boyo to talk about the neutralization of one of the most dreaded separatist fighters or generals, Sodio General Aroke, who has been causing havoc in some communities over there. We told that the elite unit of the army, B, in an operation carried out on Saturday, finally killed General Aroke and his close aide, who is of course the younger brother.
Okay, I think this, as I said, it's no longer news. The killing is also killing. But before I come back to that, let me just say this opportunity to say that I'm delighted to say here that at least the rate at which schools are going on now, because I'm saying it because our own academy year just started in the Northwest and Southwest region on this Tuesday. So I think that so many of these schools are now ongoing, and particularly as we are saying, community school, private school, and other mission school, most of them are going on now very well. At least I use this opportunity to thank all the powers that be, all the different stakeholders, even the warring parties, be the separatists or the military or defense and security forces or the administrators on the ground for the great job they have been doing. At least we should continue like that. I will allow the students to go to school, children to school, and other parents who have been crying that they don't have the means to send their children to school. They do everything possible to sacrifice. Everything is just sacrifice in life. Do everything possible to work. They have worked in the farm, look for money everywhere to make sure that these children go to school. Because if you think now that education is expensive, don't wait until when you will see how much ignorance costs. Because we know that ignorance costs more than how much you will spend. You cannot buy. When somebody go to school, at least there's possibility that the person might tomorrow be of high position, or it might be used tomorrow to construct the nation. But if it doesn't go to school, there are so many the possibility that you end up even being a nuisance to the community. So let our people go to school, and our parents to do everything possible to send these children to school. At least to pray that even all the warring parties, the educational stakeholders, to do everything possible to make sure that these children are protected in these schools, so that they can go attend their school normally on paper. At least we have been lacking a lot, but at least the rate at which most of the schools are opening now, it's really encouraging. And I say congratulations for whatsoever they are doing, to the parents too, for listening to our cries on daily basis on the necessity to send these children to school. At least with regards to the killing of this separatist leader, I think this one I said here is no longer news. That's something that we have recorded on daily basis. At least hardly with 1 day or 2 days pass by without us hearing that a separatist has been killed, or maybe our defense and security forces have been killed, or a civilian has been killed because of the war. But I keep saying here that it is not the killing of be it separatists or the defense and security forces.
This one kills and displaces the cops. The other one kills the other way and displaces.
Before I even go directly to civilians, there's something just mentioned here, because before I even go directly into these things, I would say here that one of the most ridiculous things that the government have been doing is by displaying this cause publicly. For them, they think that when they display a cause publicly, is just to call attention for that separatist to come out, that their own cops may be displayed like that. This thing, it demoralizes the population. It causes a lot of harm to those who are in this part of the country. Like for example, in Kumba, most of someone is killed. Like the time of the film Lasha in Melebia, they took the cops to the same or about in Kumba. They did the same thing, displays everywhere, and in Dop. When these people are killed, the same thing that is done is to go to total Dop because they are very advanced at total Dop. When they come and keep the cops there, this leader military will take sometimes a cartoon, right, just right there that the fake general. This is and all this will not take us anywhere. It will just demoralize the population. In fact, it radicalize the people most. Most of the children in this area, they are used to seeing cops, so they are not even afraid of cops again. Even children that don't have anything to do with weapons, so they don't know the kind of effect of this that they are causing in the community with this kind of thing. When someone is killed, it's not reasonable for the government to take these cops or these things publicly and go about displacing all these things because it encourages the people, other people, and make them more stronger, make them to think that the cops or this thing, anything can happen to anybody. And those other things, and some people are forced now to even join some of the group, or people are it radicalizes the population. Even if you are not joining the separatists, we have more criminals in these areas rather than the one that we had before. But this, I said that here that we should not killing of separatist leaders or killing of security forces, arresting of separatists or arresting of separatist leaders and all the rest. This thing will not bring solution to the problem we are going
there's
through.
Amnesty. The people are not respecting the amnesty. You want to think that the military, the defense forces, defense and security forces will continue being lenient. No, when they are doing patrol to check if the population is okay. At the end of the day, the gun exchange starts. You expect the security forces to wait for?
No, I think even this thing they are calling general amnesty is not done in a genuine way. There are ways of doing this thing, because we know, I understand normally that every conflict, the fact that it's true that every conflict always has its own peculiarity. I know that when it's a conflict and they want to talk about this issue of demonstrated arms, all the rest, at least the two parties need to be first of all consultative talk at the background. So these people have to agree that they should keep their weapons down for them to look solution to a problem. You cannot just come from nowhere and start saying that people should keep their weapons without looking at the problem.
The president saying that if you keep your weapons down, you will not have any problem with me. And people have been doing so.
The problem is not those that are fighting. The problem is the ideological problem that we are going through, because they are fighting for a cause. We need to first of all look at why are these people fighting. They are not fighting for themselves. They are fighting for this and for the marginalization that the Anglos are going through, and what some MPs are talking today at the parliament. Those that denied it yesterday are accepting today at the parliament. So they are fighting. Those people who are holding guns are not fighting for their personal interest. They say they are fighting for the entire all the Anglophones, all those that have been marginalized since independence. So that's the way this problem is coming from. At least the government should look for ways of calling the attention of these people so that they can discuss. At least we pray that they should discuss on the background and look for possible ways of calling these people to deposit their arms on the right way. Because if we continue like this, it will keep on running up and down. I said here several times. I keep saying that they don't kill an ideological problem with the use of gun, with the use of maybe prison and all the like. You kill an ideological problem only with a genuine and sincere and inclusive dialogue. That's the best thing that can lay to rest an ideological problem once and for all. And this is an ideological problem we are fighting. Those that we have other Anglophones like we were saying that are not saying anything about these guys. I would believe the government cannot believe that they are with them. Meanwhile, they are not with them. They know very well that this is something that is true. And tomorrow, once the government, like this other MP are crying today, once the government will sideline them now, they will join the group so that they can continue the struggle. So because some people are fighting because they think that they don't have any interest in it. But it's true that they have problem. But those that have a problem know that they have problem. Some of them are at their top ranking position, but they can no longer complain because they say that they are fine. Because whatsoever they are fighting for, we are fighting for to better the life of every Cameroonian.
The humanitarian situation of the people in the northwest and southwest region is alarming, as per the report published by the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, led by Barrister Agbobala. Recently published that report, and the humanitarian situation is degrading.
Of course, the situation keeps degrading on daily basis. I've said on several instances that there's something like when you hear people saying that normalcy and gradually come to this region because they have been calm. I would say that they have been. For somebody who have been working on the field, I've missed some people. I've talked with some of the people on the ground.
People don't have the food to eat. Continuous lockdown prevents people from going about their activities. People are suffering. No food, no money, nothing. No basic necessities like hospitals in other parts of the country, other parts of the northwest and southwest.
So as I use this opportunity first of all to extend our to say thank you to Barrister Agbobala and his team and what the marvelous job they have been doing, because we have been doing everything possible to make sure that we continue writing the report so that we keep calling the attention of national and international community of the presence of the ongoing armed conflict. Despite the fact that the government they deny it at the United Nations and everywhere they go they try to deny it that the situation has come back to normal. As I was saying the situation has come back to normal. It is true that when you go to some of these areas you realize that there's no longer pressure as it used to be. Initially when the war started, because those people who are at the, because in my village, Baba, I would have those at the lowland, those at the highland. So once the military are passing, or the separatists shoot even one gun at the lowland here, those who are about 10, 20 kilometers away at the highland, they will just start running toward Oku at the beginning. So now that these people have come out to understand what war is all about, even the different security forces as well as separatists, most of them never knew at the beginning what war was all about. As time goes on, most of them are now understanding, even the population understand what it's all about, what it's all about. Even now, sometimes we see military and separatists are shooting everywhere. These people, they try to hide them in their houses. They no longer run to the bushes and all the like. And when they are doing, they try to understand what these things is all about, and they move them freely within the community, despite whatsoever is happening. And that's the thing that make the government to go about saying that Nomasi has returned to this region, which is not true. Nomasi has not returned to the region. It's not that the people, the different security forces, the separatists and the population now understand what war is all about better as compared to the situation when it was at the beginning. So we need to keep telling the government that whatsoever they are doing, for not lead us everywhere. We are talking about Cameroonians that are suffering on daily basis. People are not able to eat normally. People are not able to send their children to school. People are not able to live freely because of the terror of the situation that is going on in this region. And we know very well that there's a problem that is supposed to be addressed. But instead, we are calling on the separatists who are in the bushes to drop down their weapons. And dropping down their weapons, there's no guarantee that when they drop down their weapons, this situation is going to be addressed properly. Because we want the government to use an inclusive and sincere way of addressing this situation so that we can lay to rest this whatsoever that is going on in Northwest and Southwest region.
Okay, Etape, we end with the Cameroon Cup final that was organized yesterday. I will come back to you, where the PWD of Bamenda finally failed. Elvis, I don't know if you are still there. Yeah, PWD failed yesterday to lift the trophy, their second trophy.
Mr. Lasha, I'm sorry to take you back to your discussions with other co-pilot before I talk PWD here.
Yes.
When you talk about a general that is paraded in the streets, please let us be honest to remind the regime in Yaoundé, remind the Ambazonian fighters that there is absolutely nothing glorious about killing a man. There is nothing glorious about seeing a human being being killed, and that we should understand that whether it is a civilian or an Ambazonian fighter or a reputed soldier who falls, it is Cameroon that is paying the price. We are all the ones who are paying the price. So there is no need parading the corpse of a person because he was a notorious general or whatever thing. Let's not forget that tomorrow we shall see the same ambassadors announce a new general to replace Arake, and then that person, to accept his authority, will wreak more havoc in the community. Both civilians and state soldiers will fall, and then a few months or years after, when you kill that one person, you go parading his corpse as though it was a wonderful victory or trophy you got from somewhere. Please, let these people understand that we need to sit and talk and resolve this issue once and for all. Our parents in the Northwest and the South are the last people on earth that someone can want to advise on the importance of education. If our children don't go to school today, it's not because our parents don't know the value of education, but it is because the Ambazonians and the state of Cameroon have barred the way for our children to go to school. That's what I want to say on that. Now, coming back to the issue of PWD, well, I can only say it was a game. They went in for a game, and when you are going for a game, there are two options. It is either you carry the day or you lose. So it was rather unfortunate that PWD, which I supported, did not make it. I want to think I can only pray that they prepare better for next season.
Okay, Elvis, thank you so much. Our time is up. We appreciate you this morning for sacrificing the sacrifice you have done to be with us this morning. We are hoping that you'll be back tomorrow, because you are back now. We hope you are back for good.
I think I'm back for good, Mr. Lasha. Okay. Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Amadou Tante, thank you too for coming.
It was a pleasure, Mr. Lasha. I'm always happy to be here and for.
Ok, Etape.
C'était un plaisir d'être sur le plateau. On se donne rendez-vous demain sur la même télévision, et bien à la même heure. D'Inch'Allah, chers téléspectateurs, portez-vous bien. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Lasha.
Thank you so much, Etape. Thank you to televiewers who took our time to watch us this morning, and special thank you to Bane Elvis, who is the National Communications Secretary to the Popular Action Party. Thank you too to Amadou Tante, the Executive Director of Conscience Africaine, an NGO fighting for the rights of the less privileged in the northwest and littoral regions of Cameroon. The program this morning was produced for us by Afonsa, Etape Quentin, and myself, Lasha Kingsley. We're here for the presentation, wishing you a great week ahead. Bye-bye from this end.